you for giving me this power. I will overthrow some people. All right. Okay, guys. Who wants to go next?
No, I was saying this. If you believe for CM that is saying he doesn't believe Nigeria has been Islamized, at least you would believe that the northern part or a large section of the northern part is Islamized, right?
Because of
Mm.
Question.
Sharia. That is where they are practicing
No,
Sharia.
all this because of Sharia. No, like I'm talking about the society, the region itself, like in terms of how people live and all
The
that.
region
And
has been traumatized for decades. Decades.
We know
okay,
that's
thank
that's
you,
why
thank you.
that's why I said Sharia
And
law.
Black Panther mentioned something that the Muslim, is it the Islam has been there from the beginning. Yeah, but it has been there for the beginning. Everybody knows that. But at the same time, the problem also has been there from the beginning. It's not like there was a time everything was smooth, and which is something that we've been talking about even before the Biafra, the civil war. Yeah, there were a lot of southern people, especially particularly Igbo people in the north, that were facing religious, riots that have been victims of that long ago. This whole problem is not didn't just start today, which is part of the reason why they had the civil war in the first place. So I don't know why we're trying to make it look like it's
Mr.
something
Simide,
that
Mr. Simide,
that
hold
just
on a
started
minute.
last year.
Okay, let me just say something. You see, when I was talking before, I said everything is gradual. Dr. CM confirmed now that the process is ongoing. It will not happen in one day, but the process is going on. Before, Nigeria was never a member of OIC, but today we are. Before, Kwara State was not having an emir, but now they have it. Before, Ebonyi State
Can
does
I
not
can
have.
I can I interject you?
Wait now. You can interject. Let me just even say
Black
something.
Panther, wait, let's hear
Let me
him
just
out.
say something. Before, the kind of thing we see in Ebonyi State today is not. It wasn't like that before. Before, we hadn't a Sharia in the north, but now we have it. Before, nobody had come out to say no Southerner has the right to be a minister in Abuja. Today we have it. Before, we have not seen that people will come out and say Muslim ticket. You heard what Erufai said. Say this is just the first stage. So these people are patient. They will do it gradually, gradually, gradually. You will be taken unawares. I am not
No,
saying that it has happened,
Can,
but
can,
you can
can I
see it. You
interject?
can see it happening.
Don't
in my
forget that
Same here. Oh.
Mr.
Madam
in my
CM,
Rita in the house
in,
have not
in
spoken.
my
madam, can
in
I
my
say something?
in my own case, why I say they are in the process
Black Panther, we'll come back to you in a minute, please.
is is because of the land they are forcing all states in the south in the country to bring, but which people have resisted. For instance, in Edo State, I learned that Niger Watch has to place its resources on the line to refuse that many part of Edo State should be given for Ruga or Fulanization. So that is the process they want to use, but we are resisting it. It's not that I don't think the Yorubas are happy that a lorry is under an emir, but let it stop there. That's what we are saying. They could be trying, but so they have to know that they've met a brick wall. The British came to rule Nigeria. They tried indirect rule in the north, it worked. They tried it in the west with some minimal success. In the east, it failed woefully. So what Black Panther is saying, because of our ethnic diversity, that thing they are thinking, it won't work. For instance, this Ruga is not in the whole south. People are resisting it because that is the only way they want to penetrate. When they get where they are staying, then they can now maybe in the next 50 years they will start to claim ownership of the place. So that's why people are refusing it. I know it's in process, but we are also making effort to stop it. But has it been Islamized completely? No. Thank you.
Okay. Black
So
Panther.
no,
Is Black Panther there?
Okay, sorry.
Black Panther.
Uh, Mr. CM, sorry.
Yeah.
Mr. CM,
Yeah.
who made Nigeria, who pulled Nigeria into IOC?
At IBB, I think.
Thank you. God bless you for that history. And I want to say, I said it earlier on, some of us are not sitting down, maybe because we are busy. Some of the things that has happened in Nigeria, some of us have been in our way for a long time. We are not really fused into the Nigerian system. Now, he said something about IOC. Nigeria has been a member of IOC over 30 years. And the reason Babangida gave for that was for financial gain. I don't know any other thing. Those are the reasons he gave.
And you think, wait, Mr. Brown, you think
Okay,
that
okay,
reason was
okay.
really
So,
true?
so,
Wait,
so,
wait.
so,
Let me
think that
go
reason was
ahead.
really
Let me
true?
go
Black
ahead.
Panther,
Let me go
Black
ahead
Panther.
now.
Can you guys
Let me.
even
I
allow
bring
someone
that.
that has
I
just
bring
come
that
in
stuff
to
out.
speak,
This
Madam
thing I
Rita?
just said now. This thing I just said now. I brought it up because I know it's going to cause
Somebody,
argument.
I'm trying to moderate this. As just leave it with me. I just want him to land his point so that Madam Rita will talk.
He has
Yeah,
been landing
go on,
his
please.
points
Okay.
since the beginning of
I
the show.
just want CBD. Don't me. I know they fight you. Me, I they study. I they learn from people. I they go into my archive. I they buy books. They read. If you show me one book here, I go buy. As long as it's knowledge. The thing I'm saying here is that the reason why he gave that was the reason. But we see it as a way of dominating the other region, because Nigeria wasn't a country called as in Nigeria. It was a carve out from different portions, from different nations. So if that is the case, and somebody brought Afonja story, Afonja, I told you now, go and read Afonja's story. It's different from what we are saying now. Nigeria is a multi-ethnic nation. It's a nation inside a nation. And a nation inside a nation, it is absolute difficult in a 250 million group where you have 120 million on one side to tell me that you want to change their way of life, because Islamization is changing your way of life. Go and look at the definition in Oxford.
Okay,
Dictionary.
okay, Black Panther.
Thank you.
Thanks for your submission. Okay, Madam Rita, please.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Tom, Mr. Niger Watch, Mr. Elvis, Mama Diaspora, Irene, and all the gentlemen. I don't know if there's another woman in the panel. Good evening. Mr. Black Panther, I think I just popped in, and I am guessing that is about the Islamization of Nigeria that is the main topic here. And Black Panther, I think I understand your point, but okay, this is my own personal experience. I have worked with some Northerners before. I don't name the organization; it's well known in Nigeria, and I'm talking about really high profile people. And I remember this is like years ago, more than 10 years, more than 15 years ago. One of these persons, the person who was a director, he clearly told me, first of all, he was supporting Abacha fully and said Abacha didn't steal nothing. And he told me, I will never forget it. He said, the person is a Fulani person, by the way. He said, there's one thing you guys need to understand, you people in the South. We believe in Usman Danfodio 100%. And we believe in his ideology. And he was saying it sarcastically and laughing. As at that time, I was ignorant, but looking back, I know why he was laughing very sheepishly to me. Like, you don't know nothing. You don't know what's going on, and this is what's going to happen. The Fulanis I don't want to add the Hausa people now. The Fulanis in Nigeria, they were raised. Listen, this person I'm talking about is an elite person. This is how they were raised when they came up from their mother's womb. They believed solely in the ideology of Usman Danfodio. And that is the driving force for them. Whether they are educated, they have money, there are influences inside Nigeria and outside Nigeria, and they will fulfill their ideology. Now, when you talk about Islamization, Mr. Black Panther, yes, Nigeria is a multi-ethnic country. Agreed. But this thought of Islamization is not really putting it in your face. They've been putting it mildly in the past, but presently, I think the internet, social media has kind of, broadened it more, is they would infiltrate a Muslim person, Usman Danfodio ideology, in every strata of the society, infrastructural wise. If you go to the army, if you go to the judiciary, if you go to the Nigerian police force, this is just security agency. This is security agencies, immigration, customs. And gradually, you have these people in the legislative arm. And gradually, because Nigeria is a federation, which is just for the word of saying federation, but we don't practice federalism anyway, my opinion. They go to each state now in the north. In fact, it started by dividing the states, giving the states have more. When Babangida Abacha, they started dividing Nigeria, splitting states, and you see they have more states, more local governments, more House of Rep members, more senators in the north. You think it's part of the ideology. That is the gradual process. It's not like they're going to stand on a podium and tell everybody, okay, now everybody's going to be a Muslim. No. We underestimate these people. Mr. Black Panther, yes, Nigeria is multi-ethnic. Yes, I agree. But however, in that so-called multi-ethnicism, you have traitors. We have Judas. By the way, this is Judas week. We have Judas that we join into this ideology of Usman Danfodio. A typical example. What's that overfed orangutan? Sorry, that's not an insult. That's just what I see. The one from the South. And they will even have Senator, the one that married Regina Daniels. He said he's a Muslim. There are some Southerners who grew up Christians and they decided to be Muslims. It's not because they suddenly saw, the prophet. No, they didn't see that. They did that for economic reasons. So you have Southerners, multi-ethnic Southerners who have decided to flip the script just for their personal aggrandizement. And by doing so, the smart let me finish, sir. The smart Islamic scholars, or Islam, let me use the word influencers, will see that, will use these same Southerners to perfect their ideology. That's what's going on in Nigeria. It might take years, but it's very possible. You say over 200 and something million people, you can't just convert them. Yes, you can't just convert them, in the space of 5 years. No, it will take decades. And if we look back, thank God Dr. Siem of that history of Afonja, Kwara State, what's going on there? Look at Jos. Okay, there was a time that during the election last year, remember, this man from Adamawa State, I've forgotten, he was a former secretary to the Federation, I've forgotten his name now. I think it was Buhari's first term. He said, why is it that he's a Christian from Adamawa State. I will try and remember his name now. The one that calls the man at Bodilon Bola, he calls him Bola. That's how he describes him. He said, why is it that in every northern university, why do we have the chancellor, the vice chancellor, why are they Fulanis and why are they Muslims? Why? He said, for example, in Sokoto now, University of Sokoto, he said over the years, they have seen that. They understand what's going on. The non-Muslims in the north, they understand what is going on. We may not even understand, we may understand it to a certain level. For me, I may not understand it fully, but if you're a northerner and you've lived in the north for all your life, you've mixed yourself with the elites, the northern elites and the northern Fulani people, you will understand where they are going to fall for. So that man, the former SGF of the Federation, saying that on national TV, he understands. So let us not water it down by saying it's impossible. They're very patient. Trust me. The Usman Danfodio ideology is what they are going to actualize, and they are working on it. Now, the awareness for us to speak it out and tell people is the good part. So that when these things come systematically through the system, through the courts, through the legislation, gradually, Sharia law. I mean, I was in Nigeria, but Sharia law now is something that's accepted. The Hisbah police that you have in the north is accepted. Take it or leave it. What does that tell you? What exactly does that tell you? So it's trickling down to the south, by the way. In case you don't know. Yes, sir.
Sharia law has been in Nigerian constitution for over more than 60 years.
My dear brother.
I don't know where you are from. Why don't you contest
the governor, listen now, all of us are alive now. The governor of Zamfara State, the governor of Zamfara State, I think his last name is Usman. I can't remember his full name now. I think during Obasanjo's time, he was the one that started it, for crying out loud. They had to discuss it.
The question is why did you not contest it when it was in the constitution?
You said it has been there. You said it has been there for over 60 years. So has it been a smooth ride for 60 years?
Hold on. What you have in the constitution was penal code, not Sharia. Sharia started with the Zamfara man. I was in Sokoto when it started. It started in 1999. That's when it started. So don't be telling us this thing. It's what
Let
we
me
have
ask you a question. Was Sharia not mentioned in your constitution?
See, Mr. Black
Let me ask
Panther,
you a
I
question.
think maybe you should do your
Was
research more.
Sharia
People are
not
telling you
mentioned in the
something. You just
constitution?
listen. Just listen,
I am
because
listening.
we are going to
Nobody know.
debate.
I
We're
know
not
this
arguing
law.
to win, as Elvis
I'm
saying.
not
We are
arguing. I want to
listening.
ask a question. Was Sharia
You
not
just care about
mentioned in
winning
your
this argument,
constitution?
and you can't win. That's your opinion.
I am not winning. I'm asking a question.
Mr. NCBD just explained it to you. You are repeating the question again. He answered the question you are about to ask. He already answered it.
See. Let me say one thing here.
Why was it so?
to
Ask
detect-
yourself this question. Why was it so important that the Zamfara
to
State
detect
Assembly
what a-
had to
let me
pass
say
this into
something here.
law?
Let me say something here.
Go ahead.
To detect what a criminal is doing, anybody on the street cannot detect it. And Sharia law has been there for long, but they just opened it because they don't want.
No, Mr. Black Panther. The Sharia law is part of the Islamic rights. We all know that it's there. I'm talking about not adding it into the Nigerian law. It's something that they had to agree in the Zamfara State House of Assembly. Come on now. I don't know if you're in Nigeria or whether you are abroad. I think it was something that we all saw. They had to agree it in the Zamfara State House of Assembly. The governor, when he was campaigning, he said he was going to bring back Sharia law, and that's one of the indices of why he was even voted into the seat. I was in Nigeria then. Now everybody was there, even if you live in diaspora. 1999, everybody saw everything. Come on, the Sharia law is part of the tenets of Islam.
Madam Rita,
I say taking communion is part of Catholicism. It's there already.
Madam Rita.
Yes, sir.
Look, Madam Rita, somebody might have his own ideology. I stand on my ideology, and it has not failed me before.
I don't want to argue blindly. The point of what you're saying.
I'm not arguing blindly.
I'm not saying you're arguing. I said I do not want to argue blindly, because the debate of this discussion is the debate that you are saying is impossible for them to, Islamize the entire Nigeria.
I stand my ground. Yes.
That's fine, but we are trying to tell you
my ground because of the intel I got.
Okay, can you just pause, please? Can you just pause? You are very, very apt in your sense of reasoning, or what you're saying about is impossible. Yes, it's good that we say that, but however, there is also a possibility, because if you look at the history of what's been happening from the northern part of Nigeria to the middle belt, and it's trickling down even to the south, it's happening. Like I said, it's not just an automatic thing. They have to systematically go through, like I just mentioned, the legislature, they go to the security agencies, the State House of Assemblies. Is a gradual thing. It's a gradual, and we are seeing it. Come on, look up and smell the coffee. It is very possible, but the fact that we're discussing it, we're trying to educate people so that they understand these are the systematic ways in which they try to push in Islam there. And before you know it, it becomes a law. Before you know it, the person in charge is going on under the Usman Danfodio ideology, and there's nothing you can do. So it's either you stay or you leave the country. That's where Nigeria is going. That excuse IBB gave for adding Nigeria to the IOC about money, of course, he's not going to tell you directly. It's not. As at that time, IBB did that. We didn't have social media. We didn't have the awareness we are having now. Because if there was social media during the IBB time, trust me, a lot of things will have leaked out, and there will have possibly been an uproar, and maybe it wouldn't have been added. So now we are in this time. We are alive this time. Thank God we are alive to see this. So that's why it's saying that it's not going to happen as it possible. It's like you are just downplaying it, and you're trying to make people not aware of what is really going on. That is the argument I'm having with you. Black Panther, it's possible, but please don't make it seem as if it's not happening or it's not possible. Yes, you're the only one talking since now. I'm not going to talk. Black Panther, you have been talking since.
I want to address you, Madam Rita. See, when you make some statement that I want to push it on Nigeria throat, or I want to divert the attention, Madam Rita, the way you understand Nigeria is not the way I understand Nigeria. If what you are saying is true, then Nigeria will part.
What do you mean what I'm saying is true?
And
What I'm saying is
wait,
true because it's happening in our face. What are you
It's
saying,
not
Mr.
going
Black
to
Panther?
happen because it
It's
hasn't
fine.
passed
I
through.
agree. I pray it
It is
doesn't
not going to
happen.
happen.
But don't
You
say
are
it's not
just seeing it.
happening because you are making people become
I am
empty
not making any
barrels
people.
and they don't want to learn. Make
I'm
yourself
not making any
teachable,
people.
sir.
Okay,
Please,
I'm not
okay,
making any
teach people
people.
to be
Teach people
teachable.
their history too. Teach people their
Yes,
history.
no, you have to
What
allow
they are saying
yourself to be
Islamization.
teachable, Mr. Black
It's not
Panther.
part of
Can you
our
just
history.
listen? Please.
And
Black
better
Panther,
yet,
hold
and
on.
better yet, maybe when you're using the word can never be Islamized, maybe you should be talking about your southern particular state or something.
My brother,
Because you
my
can't
brother,
say that.
you
You can't say that.
believe in,
Listen, calm
in
down, calm
IPOB.
down.
I
You
know
can't
you
say
are
that.
trying to go that
You
area.
can't say
You believe in IPOB.
about
Forget that way they
the
talk.
people in Plateau State that I cannot even go to church. There are places in Plateau State where people cannot go to church anymore. There are places people are being killed on a daily basis, and you're here talking about there's nothing like Islamization agenda.
There is
So you
nothing like
probably be
that.
talking to
I
what
believe in it.
speak to what you
Black
know.
Panther,
Because the
let
more
me
you
let me
say, the
let me
more you're
tell
repeating
you a
that,
little
the
bit.
more you're disrespecting and disregarding the lives of people in Kaduna, all over the north
Let me
that
say
are being lost
something.
every
Let me
day.
say something.
If you want to address,
My
don't
brother,
address me
I
directly.
think the problem
Address the
is,
people. Please.
Okay,
Don't
Black
let us
Panther,
have conflict here.
Black Panther, let me tell you
I think,
something.
my brother, you just care about winning an
Address the
argument
people.
or
Don't address me,
whatever.
please.
I don't think you're speaking to the reality.
Don't address me. I am saying it up here. Don't address me, please. Address the
Okay,
people. What you know, bring
hold
it out.
on.
Okay,
Hold on.
guys,
Let me
I
say
do not
something.
address you.
Let me say
guys,
something.
hold on.
Hold on.
Wait.
Mr. Toy,
Mr.
let me
Jude,
say
I beg.
something.
Mr. Jude, wait.
This guy is on something today. You're the only one that know what you're on.
Wait,
It
please.
is you that is on something.
The-
If
we're
you are
not-
on drugs, if you want to say that to you,
Black
Man, shut
Panther,
the hell up,
please.
man.
don't respect
Shut the hell up.
yourself.
Please,
Don't talk to me like
guys,
that.
come on.
You're disregarding, you're disrespecting
Don't
the
talk to me like
lives
that,
of
CBD.
people that are being
CBD,
lost
don't talk to
every
me
day,
like that.
and you're here screaming. And you think it's a screaming match. You think
Don't talk to me like
it's
that.
about winning an
I will show
argument. You
respect
think
to
it's
you.
a screaming
I
match.
am not winning argument. I
Black
don't give a
Panther
damn
is
about an
okay.
argument.
Black
I
Panther
stand
is
on my own
okay
flag.
now. Stop.
Black Panther,
The
Tell him not to
moderator is
insult
saying
me.
stop.
Tell him not to
No,
insult me.
moderator is saying stop. Listen to the moderator, please.
okay, please, guys, I beg, please, okay, right, let's just all calm down, I beg, we all have a common enemy. Let's just all remember that we're all brothers and sisters here, okay? Mr. Ike, please. Thank you.
Okay. Now, you see, there are things, what I was telling you is there are things that would never had happened before that is happening now. Go to that state, that attack that happened on the 24th, 23rd and 24th in Plateau. Go and check whether those people that were attacked, whether they have gone back to that land. All these people you are seeing in IDP camps everywhere, their village is being occupied by other people as I'm talking to you. Those people that attacked them have taken over their village. They are no more going back there. That's the gradual thing I'm telling you. So what happens here is when they attack those places, those people will run. Government will provide IDP camp for them. And they will stay in that IDP camp. And they will not be able to go back to that place. If they dare want to go, they will go and negotiate with the new occupants of that place to pay tax to allow them to come and farm. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. I told you about Sukuk funds. Sukuk. This Sukuk is a loan that Nigeria has been using to build roads. Even along Ore to Bini, they use Sukuk funds to build that thing. And you think somebody will give you his money?
Mr. Ike,
Yes.
Mr. Ike, are you familiar with Islamic banking?
Yes. Okay, Jaiz Bank that is now, we never had the Jaiz Bank. Jaiz Bank now is now one of the banks in Nigeria. They say it's an interest-free bank.
Is it something negative? No, let's look at the negativity and the positivity.
Now,
Do you think it's something bad? Do you think it's something linked to Islam?
Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is
yes.
Nobody will give you money. Nobody will give you money and say there is no interest that doesn't have something that he's going to get out of it. Nobody.
I mean, I'm into finance. I understand.
There's nobody. Okay. Tell me, you are into finance. Is there anybody that will get money, even the biggest philanthropist that you can think of, that will give you loan and you say, I don't want interest from that loan, and the person doesn't have anything to achieve?
Yeah,
from
yeah,
that.
no, it's laughable, even though technically they will tell you that Islamic banking, there's no interest and all that, but technically they built in those things into the very money they've loaned you. But again, that is another debate for another day. It's very, very technical. But all I'm trying to say here is we are all concerned, which is a very good concern, that these people are taking over Nigeria. Now, how about let me play the devil's advocate a bit. Yeah, how about us when we go and convert a Muslim to Christian? Don't you think they will think that these people are trying to shift us away from the Islamic faith that I was born into? I mean, you think about it that way.
Mr.
Don't you
Tom,
think so? Hmm.
are you done? Sorry, I interrupted. Are you done what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay,
and
Miss
again,
Madarita, go ahead. Madarita, go ahead.
and again, my
I
sister.
will speak after you.
And again, my sister, we live in a that's one thing. Maybe Black Panther was he was a bit he was a bit emotional. He was raising his voice, and that's the critical point. That's what I'm holding to. We live in a multi faceted society. Everybody has a right to either be a Christian or a traditional worshiper or a Muslim and all that. There's nowhere in our constitution that says that you have no right to be a Muslim, you have no right to be a traditional worshiper. So we just need to understand that, and that's the beauty of Europe. Of America and all that, there's a freedom to worship, freedom to even sit at home, even if you say your dog now your God, nobody will arrest you.
Let me give you an
So
information. Let me
yeah,
give you an information. Do you know that? Do you know that the man that said they wanted to do their Isheshe festival in Kwara State
yeah,
was locked up? Isheshe is
yeah.
a traditional,
I'm aware of that.
a traditional this thing celebration of the people from that place. But the man was locked up for ever bringing Isheshe. That was why Shiwole
Okay,
can say he's going to go to court. So
But
I'm
okay. Can I
telling you
tell
that
you?
these
Can I
things
tell you
are
why? Can I
gradual.
tell you why he was
but
locked up? Can I comment on that? Yeah, I'm
Go
not
ahead.
a Muslim, obviously, as you worked out, and I'm not a traditionalist. It runs contrary because I believe that everybody should live with we should respect each other. If I mean here in the UK, I've been to the West End one day. I didn't know that it was their gay movement and all that. I mean, oh my God, my eyes. So I can't I, won't- I can't I forget that. But listen, I even tell them. So my colleagues that are that inclined, I tell them, I say, listen, I respect you, but I do not subscribe to your way of life, what you believe. So we need to be more tolerant. I mean, maybe tolerance is another thing. And I don't think that it is possible for what happened back then with Afonja will happen now in 2024. Yeah,
Sorry,
in
Mr.
the 21st
Tom.
century. I don't think so. This is my own personal opinion.
Mr. Tone, Mr. Tone, you know,
Please,
there's one issue that I somehow I sometimes argue with people is like sometimes when they how your comments rather is you're trying to compare how religion is practiced in the diaspora than the way religion is practiced in Nigeria. That's where you're missing it, sir. That's where you're missing it. Now you're talking about freedom of expression, freedom of choice of religion. In Nigeria, you and I know that that doesn't happen. Do you know that they are placing? I mean, you said you were in the army before, but if I can tell you from my personal experience, there are places in the northern Nigeria, present day. You cannot go as a woman. I cannot dress and go without covering my hair like the way I'm dressing if I was in the south. And you're talking about freedom of expression. Please don't listen. Let's not get it twisted. We
Is
cannot
respect.
compare the way
No,
religion is
that
being
is
practiced in diaspora than Nigeria.
no, that
Now, no,
Richard,
sister, no,
Richard, that is
that's what you were
respect.
please.
saying. You say you wanted to play the devil's advocate, so that's where I'm coming from now. I'm
No,
going by your steps,
okay, okay.
Please,
Can I
and
say
I'm not
please.
okay?
done. I am not done, sir. I'm not done.
Okay,
If that's fine. No, now you're talking about okay, you made an example like, what if somebody converts to Christianity or another religion? Now, wouldn't we see it like, oh, this person is taking our person? Come on, wake up and smell the coffin, sir, with all due respect. That's not the case of what we are talking about. Because what we are talking about is religion. Usman Danfodio religion, and being specific. Because if you ask any Fulani person right now, if you mention Usman, that is their hero, and that is the ideology they are following. So please don't even. It's not about I'm trying to convert you. It doesn't play that story, that description. It doesn't play in with what we are talking about. And I'm sure you're not a greenhorn when it comes to the dynamics of how Nigeria works. You're not a
Mr.
greenhorn, sir.
Tom.
I know that. So please,
Mr.
when you
Tom.
use that as an example, it doesn't work. People are being
Madam
placed
Rita,
in
thank
certain
you.
positions.
Madam Rita, thank you. I think To Niger has come in. Let's
Mr.
hear from him. We've not heard
Who
from
is
him about
But
coordinating?
Mr.
are
Tom,
you
Niger,
seeing what I
please
was
hold on.
saying?
The word.
You just cut me
Who
off.
is coordinating, please?
I am
Mr. Tone,
coordinating.
Mr. Tone.
Mr. Tony, if you are coordinating, then you call people one after the other. Some people are just waiting at the background.
Chris,
We
I
can't
do
be having a
apologize.
back and forth like this.
Yeah, I do apologize. Okay, please talk, sir. Go on.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, after you, then To Niger, please, because To Niger haven't spoken at all today.
Yeah, well, please, I have to make my submission, and in the process, I don't know how many minutes I have.
Just go on. Speak for 4 minutes, please. Yeah, 4 minutes. I think that's fair. So other people
Okay,
can speak.
I would just like to quickly understand the angle that Black Panther is coming from before I say anything. And good evening, everybody. Mr. Black Panther, if I need to understand your arguments, are you trying to say that the Fulanis, they don't have any agenda to dominate the country, or are you arguing that they cannot do it?
Domination is different from Islamatization.
I don't understand. When somebody
when you
dominates,
dominate, you wait now.
Okay, wait.
When you Islamatize,
let nobody come in. Let nobody
come in, please.
Okay,
when you
Panther,
Islamatize, let me put you on the path so that I can talk. When you Islamatize, you change the way of life of a people. When you dominate, you put authority on them, not changing their way of life.
So which one are you saying? Are you saying that it is not possible? Now, may I just use a very simple example. Now, if a 5 years old child says he wants to leave 50 bags of cement, everybody will say it's not possible. Are you looking at it? But the child may have that intention to do it. Are you saying that the child doesn't even have the intention at all to do it? Or are you saying that the child cannot do it? These are two different issues. Are you saying that they don't have the plan at all? Or are you saying that they cannot do it because of the diversity in the country?
What I'm saying, I'm not saying they don't have the plan, but I'm saying Nigeria cannot be Islamatized.
Wait. Black Panther, I think that ends the argument. Once you already agree that they have the plan, then I think that should end the discussion. It should end the back and forth. Because it's coming.
There is a clause somewhere. They cannot do it.
No, listen, there can't be two answers. They are mutually exclusive. It is either you are saying that they cannot do it because of the diversity of the country. The country is too big for them. We are too diverse. We are wise. They can't do it. Or you are saying that they don't even have that on their agenda. They are mutually exclusive. If you go one way, the other way is closed. So what is your argument?
See, there is an intel on this issue of Nigeria.
It's not intel. What is your argument?
They cannot do it because if they force it, Nigeria is breaking up.
Yeah, so if you say, listen, it's okay. If you say they cannot do it, I will agree completely with you.
Okay, stand on they cannot do it.
Yeah, because we are diverse. But do you agree that there is a deliberate attempt to do it?
See, let me come in here, please.
Black Panther, please, do you agree that there is a deliberate attempt to do it? Yes or no?
There is no deliberate attempt to do it.
Please, Black Panther, I think I
No,
want
you've
to tell
answered
you
Because
the
they
same
know
you are
more.
arguing, you are
They
arguing
know
this
about the
argument.
intel
Black
coming
Panther,
in.
listen, it's my turn. Let me speak now. I'm through with the question I'm asking you. I just tried to get that clarification so that I know what I have to say. I think you are trying to win this argument. Now, I read the new nation called Nigeria should be an estate of our grandfather. We must ruthlessly prevent a change of power. We must use the minorities in the north as willing tools and south as conquered territories and never allow their future. Now, Black Panther, listen very, very carefully. If you think that they don't have that intention to do it, you are completely naive on this issue. And we must really have to be careful to
Please,
separate.
hold on. What you
Wait,
read,
let me
read
finish.
it
If I
again.
finish, you
Okay.
need to be calming
Okay.
down, please. Note your points down. Now, we have to look at these issues clearly. We must separate the Fulanization agenda from the Islamic agenda. They are two completely different things.
Mr. Chris, you've got 1 minute, please.
Oh, but there has been back and forth, and I've not said anything. Well, yeah, that's it to Nigeria. Now, I'll tell you, since 1999, how many Fulani presidents have you had? Can you tell me any administration since 1999 that has not had either a Fulani president or a Fulani deputy president, apart from this Tinubu's administration? And can you tell me every single election where they have not always presented somebody to become the president of the country, somehow? Can you also tell me that you are not aware that in the northern state, how many northern states do you have? How many of them are governors? Like 12 of them. And are you aware that these people are just about 8 million people in the country compared to the Igbos that are, how many millions are the Igbos? And even as we stand now, do you know this? The 4 pillars of the security architecture in the country that the Fulanis, who is your national security advisor? Who is your minister of defense? What are the other 2 positions? Who are they? Then you want to tell me that you don't know that villages in Nigeria are being completely ransacked and the people sacked, emirs are installed, and the names of the villages are changed. Then lastly, because I have 1 minute, have you read about Constantinople, the city you call Turkey today? Because you are just saying it's not possible, it's not possible. The movie is there, the history is there for everybody to read. Go and look, the movie is there on Netflix. Go and read the history. Constantinople, how it became Turkey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chris. Thank
Everything
you
is
for your
possible, Black
pushback.
Panther. If your
Yeah.
argument is that they will try to, but they cannot do it, I will agree with you. But if this one you are saying they don't even have the intention, it means you are simply arguing to win the argument. Nobody will agree that with you. Please.
Okay, thank you, sir, for your submission. Tunaja, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, please, fire.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Tone, and greetings to everybody on the panel, the chat, and the viewers. Yeah, of course. I think I like the way Chris kind of spoke about it to an extent. They have the intention, they don't necessarily have the means. But that said, one cannot necessarily look at it from that point of view, because I think I found that Sierra Leone was once mostly Christian and they became more Islamic now. And historically, it's very difficult to find a nation that converts from Islam to Christianity, but the other way around is often happens. So it means there is a kind of momentum of Islamization going on. And if you look at Nigeria, you can also see the same dynamics going on there. It doesn't help that their own culture tends to maintain high birth rates, while the Christian culture tends to reduce birth rate. So those dynamics. So the intention may not necessarily be there, but just by default, they just begin to dominate because of the tendency to have higher birth rates. Like in the case of Nigeria, northern Nigeria has at least almost twice the birth rate of that of the southern part of the country, and that is going to be a problem. I've said this stuff before, that if the South doesn't get their act together, they will be responsible for destabilizing the nation without knowing it. Because if any system is in place that is at equilibrium, and one side decides to upend that equilibrium, guess what's going to happen? There's going to be instability because there has to be equilibrium for systems to be enduring. So if the South that becomes less and less populated, then you're going to see a situation whereby the Islamic people will become more confident and they want to take on the Christians. It doesn't mean that the Christians don't have any intention to also dominate the country. They do also have the intention. But either way, both sides have a serious problem on their hand because they all have foreign regions that they are fighting for, which is one of the craziest things ever. And more recently, I'm beginning to discover that these religions are very, very dangerous, and they are actually damaging us because they are giving us the impression that there's a reward in an afterlife that we don't know about. Nobody has been there and come back, and forsaking this world, making sacrifices of our own people for other people's religion. And that's why I consider, from the point of view, the Islamic religion highly, highly corrosive. And not because it doesn't just take your religion, it also takes your culture from you. And you can also argue that the Christian religion does the same too. Because if you look at all the chieftaincy titles in the north, they are all Islamic ones now. They are no longer the original, like you have the Oba of Bini or the Oni of Ife. You don't see that in the north anymore. They've all become Islamized. And that it could be a problem. Personally, I think we have to either own these religions in the way the Europeans did. Europeans subscribed to Christianity and they owned it. They put the headquarters in Rome. And when England decided that enough is enough, I'm not going to listen to Rome anymore, they put their own church. There's no reason why we can't decide to take the Islamic religion or Christian religion and own it. If you want to practice it, if you love it so much, you better own it, because this is soft power that other people are using to control us. And from my point of view, we can do that, but I think the Islamic one is very difficult to do because they coded it into their religion not to change the language, not to be worshipping facing Mecca. So you can see how strategic it is. It's very, very hard to peel yourself away from it and pull yourself, take control of that religion. And if you cannot do that, you better start thinking about how to divorce yourself from it, because it's a very dangerous stuff. Because if you look at what is going on in Sudan right now, they are killing black people that are Muslims because they are not Arabs. Because there are two layers to these things. And when we talk about the momentum here, you become Muslim, it's not good enough. They also have to Islamize you, Arabize you. That's what's happened. They've already done that to the north. This is one of the reasons why Saudi Arabia doesn't agree with Turkey as much, because Turkey cannot be Arabized, because they know themselves. They were one superpowers of the world. Same thing goes for the Iranians. Iranians were one superpowers of the world, so they know their identity. Their identity is very, very strong. But Egypt couldn't resist that. Egypt became Arabized. Egypt, that was a kingdom that lasted 3,000 years, became Arabized. So it tells you what is going on in the world. And I feel like when we look at this thing, we have to think about the soft power that it has. We either have to be debating and opening our own people's eyes to the fact that this stuff you're practicing, if you don't want to take control of it, it's going to come for you in the end. They are going to come for you. Tomorrow, you might be killed because you are not Arab.
To Niger, sorry. In the end, I want you to submit, to summarize on this. Because we are talking of Nigeria, do you believe that Islamization of Nigeria is possible? Or it's not possible? Or if
it's very possible.
Possible.
It's very possible. If you look at the trends right now, it's trending in their direction. Let's make no mistake about it. Just look at the birth rate alone. And at that one, I can't fault them for it. They are not the ones causing it. They just have a different culture, and the South is not responding to it.
What is the birth rate that you want to paint to us?
The birth rate is around 6 to 7.
Well, where are you copying it from?
The data is out there in the Nigerian listing.
No. Don't laugh over it. This is a serious matter. What authority are you picking it from?
Okay, is the census. If you look at the UN census and the birth
UN census.
Can you let me answer the question? The birth rate of Niger Republic is one of the highest. It's about the highest in the world, actually. And as you can see, Niger Republic is bordering the northern states. So they too have a very, very high birth rate. And if you go there, you see young men marrying 2 to 3 wives. What do you think they are doing with them?
Mr. Tunaja, that statistics is wrong. Please,
Tunaja, please, can I
fight against? You want me to send you a link for it so you can?
It is wrong. You cannot just upon Niger Republic.
Can I come in?
Nigeria. Excuse me.
Can I come in? It's my feed.
I have a little bit of knowledge about this. whenever you quote birth rate, you have to back it up with death rate, because as they're born, maybe you born so much and you die so much. When you say birth rate, yes, you bring people into the world. What is the death rate of that area? Mortality, they call it in
The
public.
mortality rate is higher, but even taking that into
So,
account, they
so
still
you balance it up so that
I
when you
balanced
say
it out. I've looked at this number and I've balanced it out. Even
But
if
I want
one
I want
out
to
of
ask
every,
all
remember
everyone
the
in the
southern children
question.
are also die. If you
Do
take
Niger,
the mortality rate into account, they still outnumber. They are outnumbering us
do
every single
Niger, you
year.
people are not getting to Niger very well. Do Niger is just pouring Niger Republic
No,
death rate
northern
because
Nigeria.
it is close to Nigeria. That is what you are
No, I'm
saying now.
using northern Nigeria. I have the data for northern Nigeria too. I think I'm
no,
just saying it flippantly.
no, my own from my own submission. This is for me. I'm not quoting anybody. The population in the north is not higher than that of the south, and this is my reason. More people die in the north than they die in the south. Apart from the era of terrorism, disease is more higher in the north than by people over there, much more than in the south. That's what I'm saying. Life expectancy, to be honest with you, is higher in the south than in the north. This is me speaking. Now, the coming of all this violent terrorism we are having, if we want to be honest with ourselves, since let's say 1999, you count the number that have died in the north compared to the south. The north is far higher. Yes, the death rate is rising because they marry many wives and they have the birth rate is high. I can believe that it's higher, but that has been sort of cancelled out by the death rate because mortality. Some children do not get up to the age of 15. We see what is happening. Hunger, even when it is in Nigeria now, is higher up there than there. And the situation in Nigeria, what I've asked people that what it has opened up is this idea that they know to feed the South. Now, even the food for them to feed now is a problem. Remember the professor that came talking about the hunger in the north, although it is in the south too. So what I'm trying to say is that if you follow Nigerian figure the way they put it without looking through it critically, you will always believe that the northern population is higher. It is true. I mean, in geography, it is true that there are more life, the chances of more life surviving in a desert area is very, very slim than that life surviving in the coastal area. That is geography. That's why they check it. Look at the way it's balanced. Even North Africa, if you look at it, Algeria to the coast, Mediterranean, there are more people there than the desert bordering something like bordering
See,
something like to Niger
I
Republic.
think
So
even if you account for
and,
all this, let me
and
just add this. Even if you account for all this, like terrorism, how many people did they kill? 100,000, 200,000. Let me grant that. It's nothing compared to the entire population of the north. It's just a blip. The number that die from malaria each year is higher than that alone. In the
no,
south, even.
no. What I'm saying is
The south has higher
that
malaria rates.
that terrorism,
The stuff you are
terror,
saying kills them in the north
that
also kills a
that
lot of people in the south.
that terrorism. That's what they call
Can I
it.
add?
Mexico.
Please,
That's what they call
please,
something.
let me
That's
let
what
me
they.
talk about this death rate and birth rate thing, please. This is something. It's the area where I'm very familiar with, very very familiar. It's the area where I am very very familiar with. Now, whether the population of the north is higher than that of the south is very very debatable. In my view, I know clearly that there were manipulations from the values that came from the north compared to the values in the south. That's for the population figure. But talking about the death rate, the birth rate, and the population growth, as at now, either we like it or not, the rate of population growth in the north is a bit higher than that in the south. The reasons are obvious. Now, how often do you have a 30 years old man from the south having like 5, 6, 7 children, like 2, 3 wives? It's not common. There are a lot of children that are being given birth to in the north. Yes, of course, and they are losing some of these children, not most of these children. So because of that, if you put it in the balance, you can still see that they slightly have a higher population growth than what is currently happening in the South. In short, in the South, the rate of population growth is even decreasing. Averagely in the South, what you are having now is just 3 children per family, 3, 4 children, especially with these new generations of people in the South. And majority, how often do you find a 27 years old in the South starting a family? They are still hustling, they are still trying to find, even if they have all the money, it is really difficult for them to settle down. The same thing goes with the lady. An average 22 in by 23 years old in the North, a lady of 23 years old is already almost becoming too old to
Yeah,
get
and
married.
which tell me which of the group, the northern women or the southern ones, are more susceptible to feminism and chase your career first and all the rest of it. Guess
Please,
who? They are
Two
the
Nigeria,
ones.
please, that's not part of the topic. Let's
No,
not go there about.
don't tell me what to talk about, please.
No,
It's not. It's
I'm
very
not
rude
telling
to
you what to
tell
talk
me.
about because what you are
No,
deflecting from what we are
because it's
arguing.
relevant. It's relevant to the
How is
point.
it relevant? Talking about the choices women in the South make about their career.
Let me hold on. Let me say what the reason why it's relevant. Because those things means that those women will put off childbearing. Hence, the other side will keep increasing.
There is no proof to what you are saying. There's a
No,
typical
um,
Nigerian woman
from
right
the
now
facts, all you
would
want,
not
man.
put off childbearing for a career. So please, that's why I said don't
Of
go
course
there.
they do. You
You
know
are
to
that. They
twisting
Nigeria,
do.
the
You know
issue
that.
to Nigeria.
to
There's
Nigeria,
no
please,
proven data.
to
You
Nigeria,
can
to
say it's in the
Nigeria,
UK,
please.
yes, but not
Why do you think they're
Nigeria.
having 3 children while the northern women are
It
having
is
5
their
to 6?
personal choice. The northern man of your age will have like 4 wives already with at least 15 children. That's the difference. And it's cultural and religious based. You're
It's
just
more
twisting the
recent.
issue.
Madam
Before now,
Rita,
it wasn't like that.
Yeah,
It's a recent
to
thing.
Nigeria, please. Let me round up on this. I have to, because I'm on a national space. I have to make this very clear. Now, the argument I've just put forward is not to support the fact that the North is more populous than the rest of the southern part of the country. The argument is about the population growth, the rate of population growth. The rate is the number of new people coming into the world over a period of time, which is quite different from what the population figure stands as at now. So, in my
Then
view, and
then balance
statistically,
It's a clear
then
fact.
balance
It's not
balance
even
it
up for debate.
then
I don't know why
then
we're
ba-
arguing that point. They
then
have a higher
balance
birth
it,
rate in the
Chris.
north.
Then balance it with the number of people buying or dying. That's
Yeah,
what I
but
mean by data.
yes,
see,
there is.
But
Yes,
then
you are
Dr.
missing people that
CM,
die from malaria each year, which is the
Dr.
malaria
highest,
CM.
which is the
No,
single
malaria
wait.
highest cause of
ma-
death in Nigeria.
malaria is
To
okay,
Niger,
also in the north.
to
And
Niger,
most of them are in the south.
to
Malaria is
Niger.
also in
What do
the
you
no,
mean?
no, to
Malaria
Nigeria,
is
you
a
are wrong. That statistic
malaria
is
is a
wrong.
killer.
It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong.
To Niger,
That
let me
statistic
tell
is wrong.
you. Let me tell
Okay,
you.
let me
If
search
you want
now.
to talk about malaria, what about the number of people dying in the north? The number of children dying in the north from
Mr. Chris,
malnutrition?
sorry, Mr. Chris, sorry. Do you have a data for the highest birth rate in the South, by the way?
Yes, I do. I
Okay.
do. I
Yeah, go
have
on, sir.
data for. See, this is not just about figures. I'm talking about practicality. We are
Okay.
on ground. We are in the headset. We see these things happen live. So it's not what we just read from the papers or whatever. These are figures. These are statistics that we are actually churning out. We are the ones churning out the statistics. So to Nigeria, if you are talking about
You
malaria, the
see,
number of children dying from malnutrition from the north is already taken care of by the number of children dying from malaria.
Yeah,
So
but that's
let's
why I'm
not
trying to
just
let him know that the balance
no
is there.
wait to
There's nothing
Nigeria, please.
reducing
Let's not go
population
there,
in both
please.
sides too.
To Nigeria, please,
Why should I not
please.
go there? Why do people keep telling me not to go there? I'm just using, look at 194,000 deaths from malaria in Nigeria in 2021.
You see
what
That
is
is
the
a lot
something
of people
that you
that
see
and,
die
one thing
in Nigeria.
we always do
and,
here. When
and
an
what is the
authority,
distribution?
when we have somebody that is coming from that field talking, some of us always like this bullying attitude. That is one thing I don't even like. It
No, I mean,
pisses me
I prefer
off.
when people present
Black
evidence. I
Panther,
can
can you be
present evidence
specific?
of what I'm
Nobody
saying.
bullies anybody here. Be
See,
specific when you're
somebody
making
wait,
something.
wait,
Who
Madam
is the
Rita,
somebody? Who is the
wait,
somebody? Yes, I'm listening.
wait. Madam Rita, look, if a military man in the rank of a lieutenant we talk about military formation, and one of us here, we now bully by subduing him that what he's saying is wrong. That is disrespectful.
Okay, Black Panther, look at it from this point of
Specific,
view.
that's what I'm saying. If you're referring to Two Niger and what Mr. Chris is saying.
I am saying Two Niger, what Two Niger, wait, Two Niger,
wait. It's a 15 seconds question. If that's a military man, is giving, hold on now, let me just tell you so you can answer the question. If that military man teaches you about formation and you go and read about something another general did and came and quoted it from you, how is that wrong?
Hold on. I am specific. To Niger, if we have a military lieutenant here in our midst, which I know we had, and he's talking about a military formation in Nigeria, not in the world, in Nigeria, then you come up with Gogu. Will that substantiate or bring down his own fact, practical fact that you don't have?
You can bring down his own practical fact.
How?
Maybe from a senior officer that has far more experience more legendary than him.
Don't quote. You cannot quote a senior officer.
See, that's what you don't understand. That's what you don't understand. When I speak, I don't use my own voice because I'm not the one that carried out the census. I use people that actually are qualified to carry out this census and use their data. You can borrow
that person you said are qualified. They are not on ground in Nigeria. That is what I'm saying.
No, I'm talking about Nigeria. People in Nigeria that took this in the census themselves.
Hold on, Tunaja. You made you quoted that X number of people have died of malaria. Mr. Chris here says is something he knows that happens on the ground because he is into the medical field. So I'll be more inclined to listen to. I'm not saying you're lying or what you'll get, but I mean the man that is experiencing is practical.
But he's not against what I said. He didn't say that people are not dying from malaria. He actually said that they are balancing out. But CM was saying that
his conclusion is against your fact.
No, how is his conclusion against my fact when he's saying people are
dying?
Okay,
let him finish. Let us hear him.
What is there to finish? I was the one talking. You're telling him when I was the one talking here, you're saying let him finish. What he said was that
Nadia, because you haven't spoken before, I gave you more than the time allocated. So if you can start concluding so that Mr. Chris can take over and address.
If I'm not mistaken, what I just heard Chris say was that the people are also dying in the south, just as people are dying in the north. I think maybe he went on to say something about more people are dying in the north. Even if you account for all that, and the numbers are not significant enough when you're talking about millions of people to make a significant difference, when the birth rate is a lot higher than that. And when you look at this is in, I've seen it myself. I've given this notification before. Who is that? Naija retired, Jare.
We need to round up in 10 minutes.
Jesus Christ. Hey, jeez. Why do we have to now? Can't you start another stream? This is an interesting conversation that we need to get to the bottom of. Do we? Okay.
I beg, Tunaja. Now 30 minutes. Now 30 minutes I give una say na 1 hour they can't, so they say I start another one.
Make Tunaja round up now. I'm gonna go 1 minute.
Okay, fair point. So see, I'll try to keep it very simple. My own experience is that I saw a young man, barely 19 years old, riding an Okada in Abuja. And I was with my fellow Igbo brother. I asked him, oh, please go and ask this Hausa guy, whether he's got a wife. Why is he not going to school? He asked the guy. He said, the guy said he's got a wife. I said, ask him how many wives has he got. He said he's just got one, but he's got 2 children already and he's looking to marry another wife. This is around 19 years old boy. Then I say, go and ask him, is he having a wife? He said, because they want to be able to have many people in case of war. They asked him, what kind of war is he talking about? He said jihad. Then I said, go and ask him, which jihad is he, who is he looking to fight jihad? My Igbo friend said, no, I'm not going to go and ask that kind of question. No. That is my lived experience when I went to Nigeria. So it tells you what is going on, the dynamics. These are young people driving Okada, marrying multiple wives. It tells you the population. Do you see that kind of behavior in the South? So this is the dynamics we are experiencing here. When they tell you that they have a higher birth rate, they actually do, and the death rate doesn't account for it. And hence, Nigeria is facing the dynamics that Muslims are
Okay,
going to be
thank you.
facing
Thank you
and
too,
communities
Niger.
will come to,
If
especially in a
Jonathan is there,
democracy.
if Mr. Jonathan is there, if you want to talk, 2 minutes, please, quickly.
No, please,
We've
I
got
need
about
to
8 minutes.
quickly round up on
Now 2 minutes, everybody gets.
2 minutes, yeah.
yeah, this
Okay,
two Nigeria
okay.
issue. I need to make a final submission on that just to clear the air because I think he's already quoting me wrongly. Yeah. To Nigeria, what I try to say is that you know, when you are looking at what's it called, the death rate, the birth rate and everything, the population, the rate of population growth, you know, looking at malaria, malnutrition, you can see I refrain from speaking on those things because those are very technical things. And at the end of the day, we look at those micro factors that impact on what the population, the rate of population growth will actually become. But eventually, we talk about under 5 mortality. It is still there. Under 5 mortality in the south, it's like 60%, and in the north, it's like 100. And yeah, it's like I mean 60 per 1,000 beds, and in the north, it's like 100 per 1,000 beds. So you can see that's almost like a ratio 2 to 1. That is being very, very conservative. So we can't start looking at malaria, this, that. We use that to compound the final figure. And the final figure is what I just gave to you. So the impact of malaria, malnutrition, every other thing, environmental hazard, awareness, educational impact, all of them, they all have roles to play when it comes to under 5 mortality rates. And if you put all this together, the rates of population growth in the south is still not up to the rate of growth in the north. We all have to agree and understand that. But the point I'm still making is that the population of the north compared to that of the south, I doubt those figures. I doubt those figures. The census figures, they are very, very debatable because we knew how the census was conducted in the north compared to that in the south. And Nigeria, if I may just say this, the other thing we are saying about which women, because you actually directed that question to me, which part of the country will a woman most likely abandon her career for family, wherever. You see, that's just one of the tools that these guys in the north are using to hold down the women there. And let me tell you, career development, educational awareness, and stuff like that is being practiced in the south is one aspect that will determine infant mortality, neonatal mortality. Those are some of the things that will determine if a child will survive past his or her 5th birthday. And the more a lady is educated, the more likely that her children will survive past the 5th birthday. Because the 5th birthday is a very, very crucial factor in the life of the child and in the rate of population growth. So
Okay,
that's
let me
the conclusion. And I'm sure I'm
Okay,
very
let me make my final
let me
submission, please.
let me
Let me
let
just
me
make
No.
my
Tunaja, I beg. Let
let
this
me
man
land
go.
this now.